Good morning. Happy Monday. Hopefully you guys all had a great weekend. And today we are doing an exercise lab. It's not in the calendar because for some reason it didn't get put in. But anyways, we are here. And what we're going to be working on or talking about first are the inner thighs. Okay, and the reason why I want to talk about the inner thighs is one of the reasons why, if you have noticed, walking like your feet are kind of walking like this with your feet externally rotated. Part of the reason is these inner thighs are being underworked or they're feeling kind of weak. So that's why I want to cover this today. And there's different things you can use. If you have one of these, a squishy Pilates ball, that is one thing you could use. And if you don't have that, maybe, I thought just maybe, somebody out there might have one of these rings. Maybe not. If you don't, it's okay. Okay, that's 2. 3, you can also use a yoga block. Mine's a cork one, but foam one might be a little bit better because this is really firm. And last but not least, you can also use pillows. Maybe not this pillow. I might need 2 pillows. I might need 2 of them. Okay? So those are the different types of equipment you can use. Oh, and also, no. That's it. Those are the pieces of equipment that you can use. So the inner thighs. So I'm going to use the Pilates ball here, and you could do it in standing, seated, or lying down. Essentially, okay, this exercise was really popular back in the 80s. Remember Jane Fonda? She did a lot of like inner thigh stuff where there's those contraptions you can buy on TV, like on infomercials and stuff. So you want to put that ball in between your upper thighs, and all you got to do is think about squeezing those inner thighs in like that. So it's inhale, exhale, squeeze and hold, tuck your belly button in, inhale, release. Exhale, squeeze and hold, tuck your belly button in, inhale, release. Exhale, squeeze and hold. Okay, you guys get the idea, right? So I've got it way up here. That's the easiest. The further you go down the chain or your lever, it gets a little bit more challenging. And if you even put in between your knees here, you still want to focus on squeezing those inner thighs versus squeezing your knees together. So you want to activate these muscles. So it's inhale, exhale, squeeze those inner thighs, inhale, release. Okay, so I'm going to come down on the mat. Just going to move this down a little bit here so you can see, you can see my coffee table. All right, so if you are lying down, you want to take one breath in, float one leg up, then the other leg. And the reason why we do it one leg at a time is that sometimes when we drop or lift our legs up and down with both legs, it can be hard on the low back if you've got a low back problem. Okay, so that's one way of doing it, is getting those legs up separately. Having your hands down on the mat with your palms facing up. And the reason why we have our palms facing up, so this way we're not gripping the mat. Oftentimes when I'm teaching, I see people pushing their arms and shoulders down into the mat, right? You want to keep them relaxed, and having your palms facing up can really help with that. Secondly, you want to stack your knees above your hips. A lot of people like to be here. Well, you could be here all day long. So by having your knees stacked over your hips, you're engaging those lower abs. You can just poke around. You can say, oh yeah, my abs are engaging. Flexing your feet, okay? So we're aiming for 90 degrees or as close to it as possible. You're going to inhale, exhale, squeeze and tuck your belly in. Inhale, release. Exhale, squeeze, tuck your belly in. Inhale, release, okay? So that's option 2, from standing to lying on your back. Option 3, I think this exercise is easier lying on your back than standing up, okay? So lengthening the levers. So I'm going to put the ball between my ankles. And you don't want to be down here because that'll be really hard. You still want to have your knees stacked. And as you get stronger, you can slowly lengthen the legs, reaching those heels away from you. Same thing, you want to focus on those inner thighs. Inhale first. Exhale, squeeze and tuck the belly in. Inhale, release. Exhale, squeeze and tuck the belly in. Inhale, release. So you still want to focus on squeezing your inner thighs, even though the ball is at your ankle. Okay, so I've got this. You can do the same thing with a yoga block, and you can do the same thing with the rings. Okay, this thing here, it just has to make sure that you're nice and comfortable. Same thing. It just has a little bit more resistance. All right, the last position I'm going to show you is in a tabletop position. And the reason being I want to show you the tabletop is for a couple of reasons. One, Maybe you've graduated from the first two positions being in standing or seated, or the lying on your back. The last one would be in your tabletop position. So same thing, shove the ball between your upper thighs, get onto those hands and knees, tuck your toes under. So you don't want to be here all jammed in. You want to ensure that my hips are directly above my knees and my arms are directly below my shoulders, okay? So remember we talked about the neutral spine, so that means we're not letting our head hang. We're gonna look towards the top edge of the mat. Shoulder blades back and you're gonna puff out your shoulder blades so this way you don't let your head sink in. Because a lot of times when we do this, we get neck pain, and that's not what this exercise is about. Nor is it about being in tabletop either. All right, so you're in that tabletop position, tucking your toes under. You're gonna inhale first. You're gonna exhale, float your knees up. And when you float, I want you to think about sucking your stomach in, okay? So it's less about pushing off of your toes, more about pulling up from the belly button. So have a look. I'm gonna inhale, exhale, float and squeeze, inhale, tap. Exhale, float and squeeze, tuck your belly in, inhale, release. So I'm squeezing the ball and I'm engaging more abdominal muscles as well as the rest of your body. So because being in this tabletop position is way more work. This may not be available to you. If you got a lot of wrist problems, it's important to take as many breaks as you need to. So I'm gonna do this again. Inhale, exhale, squeeze, inhale, lower. Okay, so to graduate from that, you're gonna keep those knees floating. And you can start with 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever you can do. So you are here, you're gonna inhale, exhale, float your knees up, tuck your belly button in. I'm gonna inhale again, I'm gonna exhale, squeeze the ball, inhale, so I'm still floating. Exhale, squeeze the ball. So you can see that my knees are floating off the floor and I'm not jammed in back here. I'm certainly not here, but definitely maintaining that tabletop position and then lower. All right, so in the seated position, I'm just gonna show it to you on my sofa. Let's turn this over here. There's my sofa. It's a bit messy. Same thing, you're sitting on the edge of the seat. Grab that ball. You can place it somewhere in between your thighs, sitting nice and tall, heels directly above the knees. I'm going to inhale, exhale, squeeze, and tuck my belly button in. Inhale, release. Exhale, squeeze, tuck your belly in. Inhale, release. So this is working your inner thighs, your lower abs. And like I said, if you don't have those kinds of contraptions, you can also use pillows. Yeah, well, I probably still use one more pillow. Let's use this puppy right here, my little fuzzy pillow. Let's add that. There we go. That's about better, right? Inhale, exhale, squeeze, tuck your belly in, inhale, release. Okay, so those are your inner thigh exercises. And then, of course, there's also side lying exercise that you can do for your inner thighs. Remember the Jane Fonda? You guys remember that, right? She would do exercises. I never watched a lot of Jane Fonda, to be honest. Okay, so you're lying on your side and you're just lifting that bottom leg. Okay, so if you lift it, this is also working this VMO, that teardrop muscle on just on the inside of your knee, just above the knee on the inside. Yeah, and this one is a good inner thigh exercise. And I could feel it because the inner thigh muscle is actually a group of muscles together. Okay, and that's what's called the inner thigh. So there's a whole bunch of muscles here. And you can do this exercise just floating, lifting the leg. And you can tell that I'm not lifting my leg so high, right? Just float and lift and hold, inhale, release. Exhale, lift, tuck your belly in, inhale, release. And the reason why I always cue that way is you want to make sure that you engage the muscles. Why? So you feel supported. If you don't use your abs, then your hips are rocking, all kinds of things are happening. It gets into your low back. So it's really important to use your breath. Exhale, lift, tuck your belly in, inhale, release, so you get that core engagement, and therefore you feel supported. All right, so that's it for today. That's your inner thigh workout, and otherwise known as maybe Jane Fonda. And have yourself a great day. Bye for now. There we go. Oh.